bum, 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 bum. Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop right there because we got a lot to talk about tonight. Hi, friends. Good evening. Hi, ho, Silver, and away we go. Let's talk. My name is Joette Calabrese. For those of you who don't know me, and every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, we do the same thing every single Monday night. And one thing only, and that is we talk about homeopathy. I teach you what I know, and I hope you help each other. I actually hope you connect. That's would make me really happy. So I'm going to tell you that we are going to talk about animals tonight, but for those of you who already know me, welcome, friends. I can see I'm not quite centered. I will move over a little bit more this way. No, I think it's this way. Okay. We can never seem to get this camera exactly right until we're live. So, friends, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. I saw, where is she? Someone from, it's Pat from Grand Island outside of Buffalo, New York. Love it. Hi, Pat. Welcome. Welcome. Great to have someone in the neighborhood. Good evening from Western Pennsylvania and Illinois and South Dakota and Texas and more Texas and Eastern Pennsylvania, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I love it. I love it. Hot Florida. Oh, I know it's so hot in Florida right now. I'm not there right now. I'm so sorry. In Brampton, Ontario. Hello, Franca. And Missouri and more Florida. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's see if anyone new tonight. DeSoto, Ontario. Hi, Nally. Nally. I think it must be Nally. Oh, yeah. Hello from Wallaroo Plain, Australia. There's Andrea. Is it buffering? Tell me if it's buffering. I'll get a little bit closer to my microphone. Can you hear me well? Just let me know. It's fine here. No buffering, Elizabeth. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, good. So tell me if you're new. Hello, San Diego and Iowa and Battle Creek, Michigan. Wow, that's where it all started, isn't it, Kristen? That's where it started, that whole cereal dilemma. It all started right there in your hometown. Oh, my goodness, so interesting. And Swanton, Ohio, and Panama. Hi, Veronica, or Veronique. From Panama. Very pretty name. Hello, everyone. It's great to see you all. Love it. Love it. All right. It sounds good. Santiago, Dominican Republic. Hi, Betty. All righty. All good with sound. All right. Good. Thanks, Susie B. All right. Let's talk about animals, shall we? First, let me tell you that when I have worked with many animals, not as many as people. I'm not a veterinarian, but I have to tell you that it is really helpful. In fact, probably pretty necessary if something serious is going on and you really don't know what to do. And so I hope you have a good veterinarian. It's always good to have a good veterinarian. It's great to have a good doctor on your team. Hard to find. They do exist. I'm going to tell you something parenthetically, friends. If you can't find a good veterinarian or a good doctor, but you know what you're looking for, you want someone who's a homeopath. I mean, not who uses homeopathy. Forget that. They know about arnica. Please. No, we don't want them to know a few remedies. We want them to be homeopaths who have studied and become homeopaths, have been through my academy, for example. When we have them, we have some good ones that have gone through my academy. Find those who are online that you're following or who have written a book that you agree with and contact them. Oh, yes, I don't care that they're halfway around the world, and neither should you. If you have to go there, you go there. If you don't have to go there, then you don't have to go there. Many medical practitioners are working online, my friends. And you just get the tests, have them sent, and then you work with the veterinarian or the medical doctor or the nurse or et cetera, online. So don't be 1970s where you think you should be 5 miles away in the 5-mile radius of your doctor. No, or your veterinarian. No, those days are gone. Until we can build a larger repertoire of really great veterinarians and medical doctors and practitioners of all sorts, that's the best way to do it. And then those people that you choose will become so busy, although I'm going to tell you right now, they are busy. I hear about it all the time. The veterinarian, there's one veterinarian we have right now in our mastery program, and she's so busy, I don't think she can take anybody else. So that's just the way it is, because people are desperate for this kind of information. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to tell you. The next is that there's a lot you can do without a veterinarian or a doctor. And it doesn't mean that you avoid them altogether. It means that you learn as much as you possibly can. I want you to be curious, my friends. I want you to be invested in yourself, in your knowledge, in your ability to be able to discern, this is dangerous, I can't do this alone. This is possibly dangerous, I'll get some help, meanwhile I'll do this. I'll do this on the way to the hospital. I'll do this before I get my appointment, etc., etc. So that's the way I want you to think. And I know many of you already. Many of you are already in. I see you. Hi, Paula from Wisconsin. Many of you are my clients. Hi, Harry. Hi, Perry. Hi, Mighties, says Harry. I know many of you. Some of you only virtually. Some of you are my clients. Some of you are my students in the academy and in mastery and mastermind. And I welcome all of you. And some of you I don't know yet. But we will possibly meet someday on one level or another. But at any rate, I know the commitment of many of you, and that's what I love about this group. So I want you to think about owning a repertory. Dr. Richard Pitcairn. Now, I own that repertory, but I don't have it here in this office. Pitcairn. Dr. Richard Pitcairn, I've actually interviewed him. He's been part of my academy interviews, and he's classical. Nonetheless, he's so understands homeopathy so fully, and his repertory can be extremely useful if you want to know more about how to use homeopathy for your pet. Okay? Now, let's say you're more human-oriented, and you happen also to have a pet. Then, of course, you're going to use a repertory that I teach from, which is Robin Murphy's Meta Repertory, 4th edition. But you don't need this, my friends, unless you are quite involved in homeopathy. And I'm trying to keep this as simple as I possibly can for those who don't want to necessarily go that far. And that's why I do my blog and my podcasts and this and my Mighties and Mighties Plus, etc. So that you don't have to go that far if it's not within your scope, within your life. Thank you, Mindy. I think you've got, she put up the Amazon a link to Dr. Pitcairn's Complete Guide to Natural Health. Now, that's different, but he has a repertory. You want the Richard Pitcairn's repertory. Okay, that's it's an interesting book. It's a helpful book, but Pitcairn's repertory is what I was talking about. Okay, so now let me also clear up something else. There are diseases, obviously, that are different in animals than they are in humans, and it doesn't matter if they're mammals or not. I'll give you the perfect example. One of my dogs years ago had black discharge from her ears. I mean, it was black. It was thick and black. And when I looked it up in my repertory for humans, it could it have helped? It may have helped, but it's very uncommon in humans and quite common in dogs. And so I was unfamiliar with that. I did end up treating it. I think I used Heparself, and I believe it did help a great deal. Nonetheless, it's different in a human. If you were to see a black discharge, a copious black discharge, as I saw in my dog, in a human, it would be a little bit more, I guess it would be a little more noteworthy. Let's put it that way, shall we? So, different conditions. Bloat in a person can be quite uncomfortable. Bloat in a horse can be deadly. So that's the kind of thing I want you to know, that there are differences. Now, I'm going to tell you some of my stories. I would like you to share some of your stories with animals. And then I'm also going to bring something else up that in telling you these stories, I used my human repertory. At the time, many of them, I did not have the meta repertory. It was not available. I probably used Kent and the synthesis. Was it the synthesis? Yeah, I think I might have used synthesis. Also a very good repertory. So long ago, one of the treatments that I was involved in was a cow that had milk fever. And the farmer, I don't remember how I knew him, but he contacted me and he said, my cow just gave birth and she's collapsed. And I've had this happen before. And she'll die within a few days if we don't give her something. Do you have anything? And I said, I'd never treated a cow before. I went strictly by collapse at birth, or after birthing. And I said, Cal-Carb, I think I said either 30 or 200. I think I said 30 every few hours. He called back. It was early in the morning. He called back later that day. He said, oh my gosh. She stood up. She was collapsed. Next day he called and he said, oh my gosh, she's standing. I mean, like she didn't just stand up for a while. She's been standing ever since. I think it worked. 2 days later, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Now, what that saved that farmer was a trip from the vet who would have to come and visit. And that's only if the vet could get there in time. So I want you to know that I used my human repertory. I'll give you another example. This was actually written up in Homeopathy Today years ago. I had a flock of chickens. I'm not going to go through every little aspect of the story because if you want to look it up, you can. It was published in Homeopathy Today. The picture of my son for that article, he looks like he was maybe 6, and he's now 34. So it was a long time ago. And so I treated fowl cholera. And I used a conventional repertory. I did not know it was cholera. I called a veterinarian friend of mine. She said, what's happening to your chickens? They were all dying. It sounds like fowl cholera. So I looked up cholera. And I also looked up how my chickens were dying. They had this strange little gait. They had kind of this little gesture with their feet. It was kind of rigid and seizure-like, and they had extreme diarrhea. I gave them Cooper Metallicum, and it saved the remaining members of the flock. There's much more to it, but if you want to look it up, you could look up Joette Calabrese-实Fowl Cholera Homeopathy Today, and you read the whole article. Okay, let me just take a quick... We had hot dogs tonight. I thought they were good hot dogs. They said organic, but there's something in there that's making me very thirsty. All righty. I know that you've got, many of you have got some stories here. I'd love to hear it. And so, no, Elizabeth, I'm still here. I'm still here. It must be something to do with your connection. All right. So let me give you another story. Another cow. In fact, this has happened about 2 or 3 times. Cows get mastitis. Mastitis. Women get breast infections. We use the same remedies for a cow, the same potencies, the same protocol as we would use for a woman who's nursing. What did I use? If the teat was red, swollen, extremely painful, and even shiny, I would use belladonna, and I have done that. If it was not that extreme looking, shiny and very swollen and very hot and very red, then I always think of phytolacca. I use the same thing for women who are nursing and get breast infections as I do for cows or goats or any mammal. Then I'll tell you another story. There was a rooster who lived down the road from us years ago, a friend of mine's rooster. His name was Beauregard, and he was a nasty, nasty rooster. We couldn't walk down the road without him coming after us, not just crowing, but charging at us and considering it his job to protect his property and his chickens. And we were afraid of him. He had talons, and he went after us and did attack one of my friends. I said, this rooster's taking his job too seriously. At the time, I gave him Nux vomica. Now, let me tell you this. He was put in a cage, and he was going to be sold at the town, what was it? I guess it was Springville Auction, if anyone knows the Springville Auction in Springville, New York. They were going to sell him because he was too much of a bother. They had to keep him locked up. What good was he if he was locked up? They wanted him to protect the chickens, but they didn't want him attacking neighbors. So I suggest giving him Nux vomica. It saved Beauregard's life. It calmed him right down. Now, I could also have given him stramonium, another good remedy for people who attack, animals that attack. But I considered what he was doing, he was just taking his job too seriously. That's the way I was looking at it. It saved him. Nux vomica 200C is what I gave him. I'm just giving you a lot of these stories because I think they're fascinating. Our cat many years ago, her name was Carmelina, got an injection right here on her shoulder. Right here, against our better judgment, but it happened. And about 2 years later, maybe a year and a half later, she started to develop abscesses. And that was the first place it showed up. And I used Hepar Sulf 30, I used silica because silica dealt with three aspects. The fact that there had been an injection, ailments from the injection. Number two, because it was an abscess, silica covers abscesses. And number three, because she was extremely timid, never let us pet her. Even from the time she was a newborn, she just would not let us pet her. And the abscesses were not just once in a while. At one point, she had 3 or 4 simultaneously. And once I used silica, I believe I used silica 200C a couple of times over a period of 2 or 3 weeks, and that was the last time she got an abscess. And they were coming on, every few months or so for over a year or so. Maybe not that long, maybe 8 months. Okay, let's see if I can come up with another one. Meanwhile, I'll look at some of your comments and what you're saying, what you're asking. Yeah. Yes, we know what he needed, that rooster. Yes, that rooster sounds like our dog. I'm going to try Nux. Try Nux. But if Nux vomica doesn't help because he's too protective, do consider stramonium. Beverly says, like many people I know, my dog has great anxiety during thunderstorms, shivering, breathing heavily, salivating a great deal. I've tried phosphorus. Hold on, phosphorus. It's flipping up, and aconitum both at 200. It works if I SOS it throughout the storm, but nothing seems to be helping for her fears, anxiety to become less and less. Okay, we got another one that begins with an A, my friends. Another remedy that begins with an A that I always think of now. If aconitum or arsenicum don't act, you didn't use arsenicum, but let's just see if one of my students will come up with it. My dog has terrible allergies that make her scratch frantically. I've tried all the itchy skin remedies. Hold on, it's flipping. Suggest in your blogs plus allergy calm. Nothing has helped. We had to resort to Apoquel. It is so frustrating. Oh, Kelly, absolutely it can be done. Go to my Joette's Learning Center, scroll down to skin, the course on skin, and it gives you every possibility. You'll figure it out. Donna says, my new dog, wow, new dog, 2-year-old Cavapoo pup. How nice is that? So energetic, we could not deal with him. Not a mean bone in his body. I gave him Tarantula 200 and worked well. He's still very playful, but now it's not out of control. That's great, Donna. Wonderful. Elizabeth says, Argentum nitricum? Yes, Elizabeth. That's the remedy. Noreen says, Argentum nitricum. Jennifer says, aconitum. I think she had already used aconitum, Jennifer. That's why I'm thinking of Argentum nitricum is a great remedy for. Yep. Susie B's Argentum nitricum. Okay, there you go. My dog with the, let's see, I forgot who said that. Beverly. Argentum nitricum. It's an arrangement between all of my students. These are all my mastery students and mastermind students who are coming in and hopping in with the answers. Okay, Fran says, learned about homeopathy through Dr. Picarin. Used Apis in a hygrometer on our Doberman, and it cleared up beautifully. Vets still can't believe it. It would have cost over $10,000 for surgery, which is messy and does not mean it won't come back. You got it, Fran. That's how this works. Not just pet owners, but farmers need to know this. And I do have farmers in my classes and in my academy, and so if any of you are farmers, then listen up. If you are not a farmer, but you have farmer friends or relatives, share this with them. Let's see. I've used the Argentum nitricum, says Beverly, for more of the daily separation anxiety, but it isn't helping for storms. Oh, all right. So maybe let's give Beverly another suggestion, because I have another idea here. I had the lady ducks getting very aggressive. Usually it is in the boys. So I gave sepia, thinking it was hormonal. It did not work. So I tried stramonium and the community water. It worked. Yes, yeah, in the community water. Exactly. That's how we treat them. When there are many animals, such as with my chickens, with the fowl cholera, I gave it to them individually, those that were sick and nearly dying. I gave it directly into their mouth until after those were put aside, because I couldn't count on them even going to the water and taking drinks from the trough. And we put it also in the water for the rest of the chickens. Yes. Susie B says Argentum nitricum for fear in thunderstorms. Okay. Let's see what else. Excuse me. I'll take a quick sip of my water. Oh my goodness. I should never have eaten those hot dogs. Excuse me. I hope you didn't hear every little swallow because I'm too close to the microphone. It's a little annoying. All right. Does my golden doodle rubbing her bottom on the carpet mean she has parasites? It's very possible. It certainly is a possibility, a high possibility. It's a very common thing. Would Cinna work? Well, Claudia, do you believe Cinna is a remedy that's specific for parasites? Just Joette Calabrese parasites. There you go. Let's see. Homeopathic anxiety and travel anxiety both have worked with travel and thunderstorms. Thank you very much. That's from Nick. I think it's Nick. I treated a French bulldog with facial swelling from a spider bite with apis. 4 doses, 1 dose every 15 minutes for 4 doses, all better by morning. Yep. Does my goat ask that question? Okay. Stress Calm I use with my dogs. Thank you, Shanna. Stress Calm is a great remedy. I believe that's manufactured by Boron on Amazon. My cat has 2 little growths, nodules on the left side of the neck, behind the arm. I tried Silco 200 for a long time. I tap them as well as his body with cupped hands. They are stable, but I would like them to go away. Any suggestion? He also has asthma, bronchiectasis that makes him cough. I've given him Kilkvas. I'm afraid that's a whole case there, Carol. You might want to join one of the classes and you'll get that one taken care of. But let me just say, you want to find out what those growths are. Are they warts? Are they lipomas? And then you can determine what homeopathic medicine to use. I've used homeopathy on my show goats, horses, and cattle in more areas where you know. You're absolutely right. That's the way to do it. Please help our 2-year-old rescue cane Corso drools uncontrollably in the car and then vomits, fearful, nervous, and anxious. There you go. We've been talking about that. Got some good ideas for that. All righty. Let's see what else we've got. Terrier with chronic purulent ear issues. Joette Calabrese ear infections. Joette Calabrese ears. You will find a lot of information, my friends, all for free. Just go to my blog. And then we can get on to something that I haven't written about yet. My 16-year-old cat in severe arthritic pain in his hips. Joette Calabrese arthritis. It's free. Just go over there right now, right on my blog. It's all free, my friends. This is all free. I do all of this because I want this out there. My dog was protective of her toy and would nip at you if you tried to take it. Would Nux vomica have worked for this case? It's an interesting question, Janie. I think it's Jamie, I think. No, I don't know that he's taking his job or her job too seriously. I would go back to what I said earlier. If I had not given Beauregard Nux vomica, I might have given stramonium. And I say it like that so it's easy to remember because some of these remedies are hard names to remember if you're new. Stramonium. is great for when an animal or person, a child, an adult, attacks another. Yes. Okay, let's see what else we've got here in this forum. Yes. So frustrated, she's completely miserable without the okay. Growth on the cat. Let's see. Lily, continued growth on the cat went away. We were told it was an inflammation of salivary gland that was infected. I don't know who Donna's responded to. Maybe Lily. Lilium tigrum, you mean, maybe? Lilium, oh no, you gave her, probably you gave conium, is my guess, Donna. Papilloma wart on the inside edge of a floppy of my dog's ear dried up and withered away with calc sulf. I tried for abscesses, but vet confirmed my pick that it was a wart's success nonetheless. Nice job. Let's see. Let me also tell you, if your dog has a terrible itch, it can also likely be, and I'm sure you've thought about this. I'm not talking to people who don't know these things, but I'm going to remind you that it is often kibble. It's the food. And I don't care what the vet says that dogs should eat kibble. Nobody should eat kibble. The human equivalent of kibble is cereal for breakfast. No. Absolutely, an absolute no. No cereal, no breads, no grains. If you've got itching, absolutely not. The dog should be eating raw meat. And if the dog doesn't or won't eat raw meat, I had a dog that later on in life, he would not eat the raw meat we gave him. It was difficult, there's no doubt. But if there was itching, my guess is it's the grains or something in that kibble. And even though it sounds so professional and the vet recommends it, and then you've got to find out if the vet has an arrangement with that food company, with that dog food company. That is the way it works, my friends. I don't do that. I want you to know I don't do that. I do not have any affiliate programs at all. Okay, so we've been making our own food for 3 to 4 years. No kibble. Good going, Kelly. I make homemade dog food, beef, sweet potato, egg, no grain. Good job, Beth. Dogs are carnivores. I don't know. I would maybe consider removing the sweet potato. It's got oxalates in it. Maybe that could be helpful. Kelly and Beth, have you tried coffea for the itching? Karen says, is lycopodium your first choice for a bloated horse? It is. It's not my first. It's one of the big choices. We also have carbovegetablus, and there are others as well. Depends on what else is going on. But lycopodium is a very, very powerful remedy for bloat, whether it's horses, dogs, husbands, children, matters not. Okay, same here. So sad. I've tried so many remedies. Definitely gave each remedy time to work. Okay. Well, what you want to do is, if you don't want to take an entire course on it, crack open your repertoire and look under skin itching. And then look at the top remedies. If I would open that book up right now, I would probably count about 150 remedies to consider for itchy skin. That's how many there are. So maybe you've tried 10, so you got 140 remaining. I'm being facetious, but I want you to know there are so many medicines. So now you want to narrow it down. When is the itching worse? Is it during the night? Is there an odor to the dog? Is the dog, I think it's a dog that you said. Does the dog have any odors? Does the dog have frequent urination? Is there anything else that's part of the whole picture that can give you some inkling as to which homeopathic medicine fits it most closely? All righty, let's see what else we've got here. I've only got a few minutes because I do have to I'll go to Mighty's tonight at 8:30. We've got 2 minutes, and then on to my Mighty's Plus tonight. So for those of you, whoever's here with me, Serena, if you could put up Mighty's, how people can join my Mighty's, and for those who are Mighty's, how they can join Mighty's Plus. Oh dear. Fleas have arrived, have attacked and cleaned until I almost got them. My poor cats and me are itching like crazy. I've used ledum, apis, and arsenicum, each with limited success, wondering if serenum would be indicated. Yes, I think serenum can be indicated. Yes, I think it can. I'm not saying that is the remedy for you necessarily. I'm just telling you that is the next remedy to consider. Okay. Skin tags. Skin tags are often, not always, but often related to insulin. too high insulin. And where would that come from? That would be from eating carbs and sweets. So we want to eliminate those for one thing. And they often, if you do that, if you go to a ketogenic diet and eliminate the carbs or have so few carbs that they're almost non-existent in the diet, skin tags often just melt away. But if not, there are other remedies. There are specific remedies. But I always feel that, if it's something that I'm doing, if my behavior is the obstacle to the cure, I prefer to change my behavior because I believe that signal, that symptom is only one of potentially many. So I would rather correct my behavior and my eating habits, etc., than to take a remedy, even though I know the remedy would help a great deal. Okay, clean daily witch hazel till clean. There's a conversation going on, and I love it. I'm so glad you're helping each other. It is lovely to see. Okay, it is exactly 8:30. I'm going to move on to my Mighties and then on to Mighties Plus. So Serena, please add this so that people know how to get into Mighties should they be interested. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. I'll see you next time. So good to see you with me tonight. Thanks for joining me.